Not sure what it means, but this photo of us, it don't have a price. Ready for those flashing lights, 'cause you know that baby I'm your biggest fan. I'll follow you until you love me. Paparazzi.
Hello, thank you for joining us for this segment of Celeb Locale. I have two special guests here, Miss Jody Bentley and Kevin Irvin of The Savvy Actor. They both are co-founders and owners of The Savvy Actor, which empower actors to turn their craft into their own business.
Exactly.
Awesome. So let's talk about that actually. Marketing and branding for the actors. How do you help actors build their brand?
That's a great question.
It is a great question in a lot of ways. The first thing that we do is we really look for their strengths in what they do well, because it's so easy to just go for people's strengths. And a lot of times here in New York City, we find, like, especially because this is a big musical town, that a lot of people are like, well, I don't sing, and they find that to be a weakness. And we're like, well, the fact that you don't sing actually it takes musical theater off the boards, and actors tend to want to do a lot of different things. Like, they want to be in commercials, they want to be in film, they want to be in theater, they want to do musical theater. And a lot of actors don't know where to start. And that's the first thing. What's your strength? And then we go from there. And then when we find your strength, and then we point you in that direction.
Exactly. So you do classes and private consultations. How large are the classes?
Our classes are very small, actually. We keep them pretty intimate because we have so much to go over and so much detail that needs to be accomplished. So our 5-week business class, we have a max of 8 people in that right now. So we can really get individualized with everyone to build their business plan. A couple other classes we have, it's pretty much the same. We sort of keep everything capped at 8 because that gives us enough
Between 8 and 10.
time. Yeah.
For our classes. For our seminars, we'll go 20 to 30.
Right.
Sure.
And those are generally either intensives or one-nighters or weekend
Weekends,
intensives. But with our classwork, with our core essential piece, that's the turn your craft into your business class, we keep that small so that people get everything out of it. And it's like having your own boardroom, because people are constantly throwing out ideas and constantly just, it's one thing, one little spark that someone else says, and all of a sudden we go off on that. And then we're like, all right, we get it, and we can also talk about brand with other people and go, okay, is this how you perceive this person? So we're constantly going back and forth. And Jody and I lead the class, right? But at the same time, like, we're getting all of this other input, which is so amazing. And we run the gamut from beginners to people who have been in the business for years, people who are coming back to the business. We have a gentleman in our class right now who's in his 70s.
Wow.
So it runs the gamut.
I have a question. So let's, I guess, discuss a little bit about marketing. I mean, all actors know you need to have a headshot, a resume, postcards, business cards. Now tell me a little bit about press kits and newsletters for the actor.
Well, I mean, nowadays with, to start a little bit with social networking, there's so many free forms of promotion out there. And a newsletter is a free form of promotion that we can do. I send out a monthly newsletter for jodybentley.com. So every month I tell people what I'm up to. So I think it's really important as an actor to put out there what we're doing and own the successes we have. Whether it's I booked a Broadway show, a regional show, or it's I got booked this local commercial, or I did a reading. Whatever it is, it's so important to put it out there because you never know what's going to come of it. And you're generating buzz for yourself. And that's why I think the newsletters and that social networking is so important.
And as actors, like, we typically don't promote ourselves, or in some ways, a lot of actors poo-poo like their successes. Like, they're like, oh, I did a reading. Like, they look at what they've done and they're like, oh, I just did this and I just did that. I just took this class. Like, all of those add up. All of those are individual successes, and in a career that has its ups and downs, we need to concentrate and focus on those successes because that's what keeps us going.
A press kit is so important with interviews for a legit agent specifically. And exactly what you're talking about. It's like, what is our brand, what are we selling, and what tools can I give you to help you sell me? Because a relationship with an agent is a partnership. It's a business partnership. And it's so important to know that your work does not stop once you get that agent. But the press kit really gives them tools that they can use to sell you, like what casting directors know you, reviews you've gotten, what roles would you be right for, what roles could you play, and we really help people craft their press kits in terms of their brand to bring those in. And I even started working with my new agent in the fall, and I brought that into him, and he was like, "Oh, thank God you've done this." I always ask my clients for this information. So a press kit is so important, and it's just that extra thing that you can have for someone. They go, oh, they get the business and they know where they fit and they know what they're selling.
Tell me a little bit about the mastermind group, the concept of that.
Well,
Yes.
the mastermind group comes out of collective conscious, and it actually was first mentioned in a book called Think and Grow Rich, which is actually, when I met Jody, that was the first book that she was reading. And I had read other concepts on masterminding, but it's about that. It's basically a concept that the group mind is stronger than a singular mind. That's the premise behind it. And then from there, you can sit there, like for us, I mean, the Savvy Actor actually really grew out of a mastermind group.
That we had started.
And it takes time to find people that work well together, but it comes out of Think and Grow Rich and the Carnegies, now I'm going to blank on all the names that
and I already did, so I'm just letting you know.
beautiful. Carnegie, Ford, all of the Edison, they all got together and created their mastermind groups to people from different industries came together to just throw out ideas, because you don't always want to be, you don't necessarily want to have the same types of people in your mastermind group. You want to have different types of people with different views, different outlets, different this. And when Jody and I first started our mastermind group, it just ended up being Jody and myself.
Yeah.
And then we'd try different people on, and finally we were like, well, we really want a casting director and a director in our mastermind group. And it turned out about 6 months later, we were at an event, and we ran into someone that we had both actually worked with, who was a director. And he had brought his friend, who was a casting director and also a musical theater coach. And we were like, wow, this is great. Let's form a mastermind group. And we started meeting. And what's amazing is the four of us have taken ideas to the next level. Out of this mastermind, and it's a way to keep track of things. It's a way to keep everyone honest. You meet once a week, or once a month, depending on your schedules, and you talk about your successes. You talk about, each person gets a period of time to talk. Their challenges, what's going on, how can we help you out, and all of a sudden, again, it's those, like I was talking about in our business class, when all of a sudden information starts flying, and it's like that one little spark or that one viewpoint that's just a little bit different than how your brain works, and all of a sudden there's a spark, and all of a sudden we have a company called the Savvy Actor.
So it's about the group of people, and how can we all work together to do that, and really finding accountability partners within the mastermind group. And that's really what a mastermind serves as, is sort of an accountability partner to do what you say you're going to do. Because so many times we'll write it down. We'll write down our goals. We'll have our to-do list. We'll have it all down. Like, oh, I'll move that to next week, and I'll move that to then, and I'll move that to then. But to have someone say, okay, what would you do this week that you said you were going to do? I'm holding you accountable. And what obstacle did you have with that? Let's brainstorm it out.
It's almost like having a workout partner.
Totally.
Keeping you on track.
That's really exactly what it is.
But a workout for your brain and your creativity and all that. And it's so important. And one thing we've been wanting to do with in our business as a product is help people create their mastermind groups. So we're still working that out. But we've met so many people now. We know so many actors, so many other people, that we could sort of start piecing people together and helping people create their own groups. And that's really something else that we really want to strive to do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jody and Kevin.
You're welcome. Thank you,
So
Joresa.
please check them out, thesavvyactor.com. That's with 2 V's. They're excellent. Like I said, he's my business coach. I think they're both excellent. Please check them out. Check out their free seminars. It's absolutely free, and you get so much information. All right, it's a wrap for this segment of Celeb Locale. Bye.
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 Ready for those flashing lights, 'cause you know that baby